สวากขาโตภะคะวะตาธัมโมอะมะสัมมาสามิโยมบันเตปันโตภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนะมามิ This time is very good for to listen the teaching of the Buddha from the secretary of the Thai Bhikhuss in U.S.A. Phra Videsratnaporn. But all the people to join to hear very good understand about the teaching of the Buddha and interested in the Buddhism. So, in the continue to also someone to introduce for the Videsratnaporn, someone to detail about the biology of the Videsratnaporn. Okay, thank you very much. To open to the speed of the teaching of the Buddha today. Thank you.
Thank you, Padet Pakun. I would like to invite the VK, the Vernon cousin, to introduce the speaker today. Okay.
Hello, friends. Today we're pleased to have one of the members of our group over the past Zoom meetings, Phra Videsratnaporn, Dr. Thanat Inthisan, or also known as Dr. Handy, is a scholar and a well-traveled missionary monk born in Thailand, now serving at Wat Thai in Washington, D.C. And he has received his scholastics background is a bachelor's degree from Mahachula Buddhist University in Bangkok, 3 master's degrees, one from Century University in New Mexico, and 2 others from Great Britain and Russia. He received a Ph.D. From Magadh University in India in 2003. His dissertation at that time concerned problem of self in Buddhism. And I think we all recognize the subject. He is the author of several works, Walking on the Path of the Buddha, and that is available online. I found that online. And Buddhist Traditions in Thai Culture in English, which I have right here. And I found that here at Wat Thai. So we may have some more copies. We at least have 1 copy.
Hello. Hello.
And also expert in meditation practices and yoga. His wide experiences include trips to Russia to teach Vipassana meditation, and he has participated in 4 World Parliament of World Religion Conferences in South Africa, 1999, Spain, 2004, Australia, 2009, and back in the U.S.A. and Utah in 2015.
This one shows, look.
He's been a tour guide for several recent pilgrimages to Buddhist holy sites in South and Southeast Asia. And he has participated in many Buddhist international conferences in South and Southeast Asia. He currently holds a position of Secretary General of the Council of Thai Bhikkhus in the U.S.A. He is the president of Wat Thai, Washington, D.C. since 2000, and he's chairman of the board of directors of the International Buddhist Association. He has focused his interests in history, scripture, archaeology, and teaching to spread Dhamma. And today, the subject will be Timeless Truth of the Dhamma Contribution to Humanity. It's my pleasure to welcome the Venerable Dr. Inthisan to speak to us.
Hello? Can you hear me?
อาจารย์เจ้าคุณพูดอะไรไหมครับอาจารย์เจ้าคุณฤทธิ์พูดอะไรหรือเปล่าครับ
นิมนต์เลยครับนิมนต์เลยครับ
Are you able to hear me now?
นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะ Homage to the Holy One, the Worthy One, the Self-Enlightened One. โยโคอานันทมยาธัมโมจะวินโยจะเตสิโตปัญญโตโสโวมมัจจเยนะสัทธาอานันทะ The doctrine and discipline I have set forth and laid down of you all shall be your teacher after I am gone. Respect most venerable Pratet Puttivitet, the President of the Council of the Thai Bhikkhus in the United States of America, and the CTU committees, especially the most venerable Videsratnaporn, Vice President of CTU, who put a lot of energies and effort to make this program possible. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank all of you who can make it today. Dear my friend in Dhamma around the world, from the Eastern country as well as the Western country, who are interested in listening to the Dhamma and want to have the Dhamma practice guidance. Due to the coronavirus or COVID-19 breakout started a few months ago and quickly spread to other countries worldwide, including the United States of America. As you know, it is still number one of the people who lost their life and seriously affected by the coronavirus. The people around the world need the peace, the spiritually peace of mind and secure in their lives. It is the time for us, all Buddhists around the world, especially the role of the Council of the Thai Bhikkhu, to play the important roles to help the people to have a peace of mind, to show loving kindness and compassion, to live together with love and care. On behalf of the Council of the Thai Bhikkhus in USA, we pray to all keeping healthy and safe from the pandemic by the blessing of the Tribunchen. Today, I would like to share with you some aspect of Buddha teaching that is necessary and essential for every life in the world, whatever you are, wherever you live, but you need the happiness and peace in your mind and in your life. There is one sutta in Sutta Pitaka, Sangyutta Nikaya Mahawak, named Sisapanava Sutta. I would like to mention this to all of you. Quote, once the blessed one, the Buddha, was staying in the Kosampi city in the Sisapa forest. Then picking up a few Sisapa leaves with his hand, he asked the monks, what do you think, monks? Which are more numerous, a few Sisapa leaves in my hand or those overhead in the Sisapa forest? The leaves in the hands of the Lord, a few in the number. Those overheads in the Sisapa forest are more innumerous. In the same way, monks, those things that I have known with direct knowledge, but have not taught, are far more numerous than what I have taught. And why I haven't taught them? Because they are not connected with the goal of Buddhism or the goal of teaching, do not relate it to the rudiments of the holy life, and do not lead to these enhancements, to this passion, to cessation, to calm, to direct knowledge, to self-awakening, to unbinding. That is why I have not taught them. And what I have taught, it is suffering. It is the origination of suffering. It is the cessation of suffering. It is the path of practice leading to the cessation of suffering. It is what I have taught. And why have I taught these things? Because they are connected with the goal related to the rudiments of the holy life and lead to the disenhancements, to dispassion, to cessation, to calm, to direct knowledge, to self-awakening, to unbinding. This I have taught them. Therefore, your duty is the contemplation. That is suffering. That is the origination of suffering. That is the cessation of suffering. Your duty is the contemplation. That is the path of practice leading to the cessation of suffering. Ending quote. What the Buddha taught in this sutta is only the Four Noble Truths, as you know, or somebody have been learned and had more information or any sources that you can gain. But that is the knowledge in the text. So today we have to understand and put into practice, because the duty of us, of all of us, the Buddha said there are two kind of duty in Buddhism that they call Thura or duty. There are two kind of Thura. Means that one is the study in the text or theory, Pariyatti, and another one is the Kantatura. This one, the first one we call Kantatura. Another one is a Vipassana Tura, means that practice the Vipassana or Samatha or whatever the mind culture we will discuss later on. But this is the true thing that the Buddha show us the path, that when the monk or the lay, when you go to practice the Dhamma, you have to learn the theory first, that the Kantatura in Buddhism. And as I mentioned in the first, Yo ko ananta maya Dhammo cha vinayo cha tesito panyato sovo mamachayena sattha, means that Ananda, the Buddha, the last breath, before he entered to Parinibbana, Ananda asks, his attendants asked the Buddha, who going to be the teacher, who going to be the master after Buddha passed away. Buddha said, don't be sad, don't be grieved. This time you have doctrine, you have discipline that I have set forth and laid down to all of you. That will be your teacher after I'm gone or after I'm passed away. So this is the last words of the Buddha to let the disciples, whatever you are a bhikkhu or bhikkhuni, monks or female monks or whatever, layman or laywoman. The Buddha laid the Dhamma Vinaya for us. And after Buddha passed away, then the first council has been set up by Brahma Kassapa, or the most venerable Kassapa, the elder. And Ananda, his disciple, the Buddha attendants, also recite the sutta, where he have learned, where he have listened direct from the mouth of the Buddha, recite the sutta, and Ubali Thera, or Venerable Ubali, also recite Vinaya. At that first, the council held in Rajagaha, supported by King Ajatasattu. In the history that you have learned about that. So, and after that, around 100 years also, they set up for the second council in Vaisali. And at those times, they mentioned about only Vinaya, some minor Vinaya that is not clear and interpretation in the Sangha. But finally, they get the result and get the resolution, and that idea also make the Sangha, make the Buddha disciples split into two groups or two Nikaya. Later on, that they call Mahayana, and we are Theravada, the conservative way of practice. And the third council will be held in the time of the King Ashoka in Pataliputta or in Patana nowadays in India. And also at those times, after the council has been held, supported by the king, the great King Ashoka. And after that, he sent the Buddhist missionary to 9 directions. One of the group of the Buddhist missionary monk led by Sona Thera Uttara Thera arrived in the Southeast Asia that they call Suvarnabhumi, means that in Thailand, in Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia, and Buddhism spread to that area until now. And one went down to the one island that they call the Tampapani or Sinhala Island, means that Ceylon or Sri Lanka nowadays. The group of Buddhist missionary monks led by the Phra Mahinda Thera, or the son of King Ashoka, ordained as the Arahanta, and spread Buddhism in Sri Lanka. And Buddhism in Theravada Buddhism still exists until now in South Asia and Southeast Asia. And the group of Mahayana tradition that they developed later on, then they spread Buddhism to the Himalayan range country in Nepal, in Tibet, in Sikkim, in Ladakh nowadays, in the parts of India. And after that, they developed to Vajrayana or the Lama tradition, spread to Tibet or some other country in Himalayan mountain near India, such as Nepal and Bhutan and some other country there. And after that, they developed Mahayana tradition and across Himalayan mountain, spread to mainland China, from China to Korea, from Korea to Japan, and North Vietnam. This developing of the Mahayana tradition. So Buddhists developed from the past until now, but try to practice and keep the teaching still alive. Every part of the world, they practice the Dhamma. Some you may see that it's a different or the strange ritual or ceremony, but that is part of the culture, their culture, but it's not real Buddhism. The real Buddhism is the heart of the Buddha teaching. Is not too much. It's not too much. Okay, back to the third council after the King Ashoka sent the Buddhist missionary monk to many directions, and when they go to the area, and then the country in that region, that area, they accept Buddhism in their own way, their own tradition and culture. For instance, they use their own language for recite the sutra or study the sutra, but in the sutra, they record in Pali language. This is the old form of language record the teaching in Theravada Buddhism. So in Theravada, we use Pali language. So even use in Thai alphabet, but we write in the grammar, in the structure of in the ancient language like a Pali language. In Myanmar also, in Sri Lanka, in Laos, in Cambodia, or some other country that they use their own alphabet, but still use Pali term, Pali language. So when we study Pali first, and after that, it's like a key to open the door of knowledge, to open the bookcase to read the Tipitaka. So in the Buddha teaching, after the correct and written record in language, but before that, after Buddha passed away, they recite, they memorize by heart, like each sutta that we recite by heart, we can remember by heart, like Karaniya Metta Sutta, Mangala Sutta, or Ratana Sutta, the very important sutta that the monk in Theravada tradition, they recite when they go to the perform blessing, the blessing ceremony, or the parita chanting. They chant the sutta with Pali language, like I mentioned earlier, especially in Thailand that we call 12 ตำนาน 12 sutta, very important that we took from the sutta and recite in Pali when we have the ceremony, then the blessing the house or the wedding ceremony or any ceremony, then we recite the sutra in Pali. So in Tipitaka or Pali canon contain many teachings altogether that they can count in number is 84,000 in the 3 baskets or 3 containers. In Tipitaka, there are 84,000 topics. Is too many topics, too many things that we have to memorize or we have to learn. But how can we reduce, or how can we study, because it's too many? So that's why today I quote the sutta, the Sisapawana Sutta, that Buddha show the leaf in his hand to the monks and asked the monk, what do you think the leaves in my hands and the leaf in the forest, which one is the more than in number? So the monk said, of course, in the Buddha hands, a few Dhamma or a few leaves. He said, I have known many things because of he enlightened. So enlightenment means that he enlightened under the Bodhi tree by himself. Yeah, he knows many things and know beyond the ordinary people will know. That's the Sappanyuttayana, that the supreme knowledge that Buddha have gained under the Bodhi tree that we call the enlightenment. Okay, but back to what is the small number of the teaching that necessary to every life, to everyone. So the Buddha taught only the dukkha and the end of dukkha, the suffering and how to end of suffering. In Theravada Buddhism, the main thing, but not the only thing. The Buddha teaches the suffering and no suffering. Suffering exists in life, and there is a way to get rid of it. The Buddha shown the path already. Suffering includes all those things that upset human beings and cause them trouble. For example, becoming sick or illness, like nowadays the corona pandemic, coronavirus spread all over, the people getting sick and some people die, that experiencing what is not present also that we call dukkha or suffering, and not getting what one desire. We want this, but we cannot get it. Also the dukkha. All many ways of being unhappy in life. Suffering also appear as a result of immoral actions. So Buddha show us the Four Noble Truths, the truth that he discovered under the Bodhi tree, and these truths make him become Buddha, the awakened one. The Four Noble Truths, if you study, because there are a lot of sutta or a lot of the place in sutta, if you study in the text, but the main thing or the first time that the Buddha introduced to the five ascetics is in Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the first sutta that the Buddha taught in the Deer Park or Pa Isipatana Malikatayawan in Varanasi or Benares, or in the, Varanasi now they still there, the place. Means that if you want to go to for the pilgrimage, you can visit it in the full special for Buddhists or non-Buddhists who are interested in the place that you can visit in Varanasi, India. In the sutra, in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, said that to the Four Noble Truths to avoid to the extreme, the Buddha asked this follower to take the middle way, because in Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta mentioned about the two extreme practice at those times. One is self-indulgence or sensual pressure. Another is the self-mortification. So two way, left and right, is a very extreme, very hard, very tough that the people practice at those times. So that is not way to get rid of the suffering. So that Buddha show the middle way or the middle path, which open the eyes and gives understanding, which leads to peace of mind, to the higher wisdom, to full enlightenment. In fact, according to the first noble truth, life is subject to suffering. It is the question that first here. Now that is the noble truth of suffering. Birth is a suffering, decay is a suffering, sickness is a suffering, death is a suffering. Connection with thing you dislike is a suffering. Separation from thing one you like is a suffering. Not to get what you want is a suffering. In short, the five aggregates of clinging are suffering. So if you are Buddhist, especially Thai Buddhists, they chanting every morning in the morning chanting, recite about this, about the dukkha. But they don't understand what the dukkha is. Sometimes they try to run away from dukkha. Dukkha should be realized, not to run away from them. When these conditions are analyzed one by one, we can see how painful they are. Every one of us has to face this condition in this journey through life. Immersement is a fact that applies to everything. There is nothing born or condition which is not subject to this law. So the logics of Buddha saying that wherever the impermanent is also painful. So everything subject to change, everything impermanent. If you think that is a permanent, then you are suffer with that. So even so-called pressure and unpressure also, the end of unpressure is a pain, that's a suffering. This proves the truth of statement that all conditions of life based on attachments are painful. So the cause of suffering, did you know the suffering, and then it will lead to the cause, with the origin of the suffering. The second noble truth is that the suffering is caused by ignorance. Because of ignorance, which result in desire, all things and events are related as cause and effect. There is nothing in the world as it appears to us which fall outside the cause and effect relation. Nothing happen alone, but they have to have the condition, or they have something conditioned it. So like everything else, suffering has its cause, and that cause is found not outside us, but within us. So have to look inside, then you can find it. Now what is that cause? It is a self-centered desire. So desire, or tanha in Pali language, that we call tanha. Selfish desires are based on everything in your relation to oneself and show themselves in different form. Arguing, fighting, etc. So desire, that's the cause, or the cause of suffering. Because of tanha, you can lead to another problem or the suffering. The third noble truth is that the suffering can be get rid of, the removal desire. So desire can be removed, but you have to know the way how to remove selfish desire. That's the cause of suffering. When the cause is removed, the effect will naturally cease. When desire is destroyed, suffering will also come to an end. The end of suffering is to get rid of something, and reaching the bliss of enlightenment is gaining something. In other words, along with the reaching enlightenment, there will be an end to all suffering. So the Four Noble Truths is the path to get rid of suffering. So Nirodha in the suffering, in the Four Noble Truths number 3, that's the Nirodha, or the cessation of suffering. And then number 4 is the path, means that you can put an end of suffering by choosing your own effort to follow the path that the Buddha taught, the middle path, which for Buddhists nowadays you can follow the path, or the middle path to overcoming oneself, which lead to the highest goal, the 8 paths, the 8 noble paths. So Thai people, or even the Buddhist monk, they can remember 8 spoke in the Dhammacakka, or in the wheel of the Dhamma that the Buddha set forth, set it in motion the first time in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. That means the wheel of Dhamma. There are 8 spokes to set in motion. Number 1 is the right understanding. to be to start with the right understanding, to begin walking the path, we must see life as it is, according to its three characteristics of impermanence, suffering, and selfless or non-self. We must also proceed to clear understanding of the nature of existence, of the moral law or the natural law, and of the thing which we go make up to the continual circle of birth and death. So right understanding means that you have to understand the three characteristics of existence. Everything in this world subject to change. So if you think that it will be permanent or stable, tangible, means that you're against the natural law. So you have to follow the law, the rule of law, the law of nature, that nobody can invent or can establish it. It's by the nature that is discovered by the Buddha. So everything is subject to change. So everything is impermanent. So please understand. If you understand this, means that you have right understanding. So Buddha put the right in front of that. Understanding, some people may understanding, but not right. So right understanding means understand the three characteristics of existence. And number two, right thought. This means that our mind should be pure, free from sensual desire, ill will, cruelty, and light things. At the same time, we should be willing to give up anything that block our mental and psychological progress. So right thought means that you have to clear understanding. You clear your mind. Your mind should be clear, and the Samma Sankappa is a very important to the path leading to the end of suffering. Number three is a right speech by holding oneself back from lying, speaking unfavorable about the person behind. You talk, you speak in the harsh speech, harsh talk, or gossip, or create the problem between two person or three person. Especially nowadays, the people like to use the false speech, gossip, and talk back to each other. So this thing is called not right speech. The right speech is the opposite of that. So when the people correct speech should not be to do that false speech or hard speech, or in the precept number 4, that's make the people not be the good one because of they speak not right word to the people. It should not be chadas the excite passion or stir up the emotion, so make the people unhappy or not trustworthy if you tell a lie to the people. And number 4, right action. This for the most part consists of the observing the 5 precepts, which can be shown in both the positive and negative characters. Not to kill, but to practice loving kindness, not to harm to each other, and not to take what is not given to you, but to practice love and generosity, not to misuse the senses, but to practice purity and self-control, not to give to the desire to wrong speech, but to practice sincerity and honesty, not to take intoxicating drinks or abuse drugs, which cause heedlessness, but to practice self-control and mindfulness. For the ordinary Buddhists, moreover, it is absolutely necessary for them to practice all these precepts if they wish to aim for the higher life. So the precept is a basic rule in Buddhism. You should practice in daily life because especially the lay people, if you only practice according to the 5 precepts, you can make this world peaceful, make your family very happy family, make your society, make your country, and make the whole world happy. So you try to look closely one by one. Start from the first one, not to harm, not to kill. And in the same time, you develop loving kindness and compassion. So nowadays, everywhere in the world, they need the loving kindness and compassion because especially in the competition world compete to each other, take advantage to each other. So it's very rare to get loving kindness and compassion. So that the number one is very important to all the people work. And number two also to show respect, not to take what is not given to you, to show respect to the owner, practice love and generosity, not take but give, try to give, not take. Give is easy way than taken. So try to use the 5 precepts to mold your life, to lead your life in our society, that everywhere they need the people who practice according to the 5 precepts. And number 5 is a right livelihood. The layman especially should pursue an occupation only if it does not cause harm or injustice to other human beings. To deceive the others, to betray the trust to others, or to practice fortune telling, or for example, this also harm because of sometimes make the people believe, but it's not according to your tell them. For instance, so that's the wrong livelihood. The traditional occupation from which the layman is prohibited, the dealing with the selling weapon or sell living beings, and sell the intoxicating drinks or drugs or poison. This the harmful career that it should free from greed, financial dealing, because of the when you sell drug, especially at this moment, everywhere they use drugs. Many problem happen because of that. So you choose to avoid that, and to have the right livelihood means that avoid from that kind of thing, and you have to follow the 5 precepts. And right effort. Number 6, self-perfection can be achieved by the avoiding and rejecting unhealthy quality while gaining and developing skillful. Right effort is divided into 4 parts. 1, the effort to prevent the arising of unskilled thoughts, words, and deeds which have not yet arisen. Number 2, effort to force out whatever is unskillful thought that has already arisen. The effort to stir up healthy thought, word, and action, and effort to further the growth of the good word, thought, and action which are already present. So try to do good and avoid bad. It's wholesome and unwholesome. Try to develop wholesome thought and wholesome action by bodily action, kayakam, and by verbal action, vachikam, and by mental action, manokam. So do good and avoid bad. Strive for that's the right effort. Right mindfulness is this very important. Number 7. This means that a constant awareness with regard to the body, feeling, the mind, and mental objects. Mind, according to Buddhism, is the sixth sense and nothing more. The development of the mindfulness is necessary to prevent the practitioner from being led in the wrong direction by incorrect will. So it is the end of the process which connected to the direct insight into things as they really are. This makes a further step from the point where things are known only by the different is show, seen, here, and just different are set aside. So right mindfulness is to develop from practice meditation to gain the mindfulness through samatha or vipassana, but it's linked to the number 8, the concentration meditation. At the final step, we should aim at one's pointedness of mind, direct toward a wholesome object, through direct and craving, the root of most unhealthy willful acts add up, making rebirth unavoidable. To overcome this process, we must first understand everything is impermanent, unsatisfactoriness, and suffering, and not real selves. So we understand the 3 characteristics of existence, so we have to put in consideration and practice right concentration to know that. True knowledge of this kind of obtained through the practice of meditation, of which there are 2 parts, that active one of the practice, one passive and of making real. So to meditate, we should sit quietly with calm mind, and if our thought wander, patiently control the mind once again by stopping these thoughts and getting rid of them. Some people use the breath. We breathing naturally, breathing in and breathing out, and use the anapanasati. I think everyone know that, and everyone keen to use the technique of breathing exercise or anapanasati to train the mind. So in the Noble Eightfold Path, in the 8 spoke or 8 numbers, and put into conclusion into threefold training in Sila, Samadhi, and Panya. So the threefold training, that path leading to the enlightenment, that's the part of the Noble Eightfold part, but we divide into morality. The first part includes the virtue and the honest person who treats others kindly. It has been understood to be the same as all virtue together, and many admirable qualities have been explained to relation to things perfect like purification and restraint as regards the body, speech, and the mind, action, word, and thoughts. Morality is usefully understood as referring to the five precepts which make up the layman's moral practice. As I mentioned earlier, so the five precepts is very important to everyone. So please take and practice in your daily life. The precept is a very important. Only the five precepts for the lay people, but if you want to develop more, practice more, and then you take 8 precepts, and then go to the monastery, live in the monastery, the monastic life. So about the concentration or meditation level, the second part of the threefold training, it is absolutely necessary to practice meditation called the mental development. Mental development leads to the fixed or calm state of mind. The mind without discipline is in the habit of wandering here and there. So if you cannot control the mind wandering, the mind scattering, it's very difficult to focus, to use the mind suitable for the work. So it may allow you and allow any harmful idea, harmful thought. That means akusalakam means that the unwholesome thought will arise because you cannot control the mind. So in order to prevent this unhealthy wandering mind should be concentrated on the chosen object. So whatever you practice, concentration meditation or calm meditation or insight meditation. So I think time is over now, but only anyway, Sila, Samadhi, Panya. The last one, okay. Panya is wisdom, the last group of in the Noble Eightfold Path is a right understanding and right thought is at the Panya level. So you can gain by listening, like you listening Dhamma talk, listening from the teacher, from the master, or reading the book, get all information from anything else, and then get the knowledge, get to you get information, get the roadmap to study Buddhism, the study in the text. This the first panya or knowledge that they call the Sutta Maya Panya. Number 2 is Cinta Maya Panya. You have to reflection. When you're listening Dhamma talk today, and you have to reflect, you have to realize is it true or not. You have to think about that. That's a Cinta Maya Panya. And number 3 is a Bhavana Maya Panya. Panya or wisdom arises from practice. You practice meditation to gain insight, to understand the 3 characteristics of existence. You understand that it is the impermanent thing, that is the suffering, that is the non-self. In real sense of practice, it's not just you think about, but when this occur to you, when someone dies, someone pass away in your life, and then you crime, your grief, your get to the problem in your life, means that you don't understand the rule of three characteristics of existence. So I'm gonna stop it now because time is over for today. So I hope that you are all get the information that I have shared to you today, especially the Four Noble Truth, the Eightfold Path, the three characteristics of existence, and the threefold training, Sila, Samadhi, Panya, that you are all need to practice from outside in, practice from the start level of Sila, control bodily action and verbal action. Samadhi can control mental action, deal with the mind. And the last one, Panya, wisdom, to deal with your suffering and all that we need to have peace and real happiness in our life. So thank you very much for you all to pay attention to listen to the Dhamma today. Thank you very much. Buddha bless all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ajahn, Dr. Thanat of Videsratnaporn, the Secretary of the General of the Council of the Thai Bhikkhu. And if anyone want to follow the teaching by Ajahn Dr. Thanat, you can go to the website, can go to their Facebook, and Wat Thai Klung, Washington D.C. And today is very wonderful talk. And after that, we're going to upload to their Facebook and to their YouTube. And okay, today we have any question? Rob and Casey, Kong, you have any question? You can ask right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have some question here. First of all, thank you, Ajahn, for sharing your wisdom and panya with all of us. Very enlightening. So we have a question here from Casey. She wanted to see whether you can actually talk a bit more about emptiness and what are the strategies that we could use to cultivate a more abiding in emptiness in our daily lives, especially when we are today surrounded with so many I and my and me. It's about me and whatnot. So can you elaborate a bit more on that? Thank you.
Okay. Emptiness or voidness or sunyata, right? How to empty your mind and empty your thought. First of all, you have to realize the three characteristics of existence, especially the last one, the non-self. Because we attach to whatever form or formless. That's why we carry any kind of thing in our shoulder. So if you cannot put aside, put out from your shoulder, it still exists in your mind or in your thought. That when you're not detached, then you attach to, so there is no empty. So if you want to empty it, you have to understand the reality or the ultimate truth of the impermanence and non-self. Okay?
Thank you, Ajahn. We have to start with the glass which is half full so that we can actually also fill it up. There's sometimes, we have this contrast. As a layperson, we were taught to fill up our glass as much as possible, but now we are taught to be trying to be emptying. So we have to find that right balance between being full and being empty. So this is a very interesting thought that you shared. Thank you.
Yes, you can fill the glass with empty mind. Means that the dukkha is arrived because of attachment. You can do your work, you can strive for your living or any kind, but not be the slave of tanha. Okay, you
Thank
eat 3 meals a day, you sleep about 6 hours or 5 hours a day, or you wear your garments, you wear the and you use for necessary thing that's suitable for you, but not be slave of that honor thing. Means that this emptiness, the meaning of emptiness, means empty from desire that not necessary in your life. But if that thing is necessary in your life, then you can do it, but do with empty mind. Okay.
Thank you for your wisdom again, Ajahn. Another question from Alice. So she wanted to know what should we do to cultivate awareness of the importance of humanity from a global perspective.
Cultivate what?
Cultivate awareness of the importance of humanity.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it starts from the meditation. The meditation, but meditation first, as classified in Buddhism, is samatha and vipassana, right? Samatha, how to calm your mind. You use any object to calm the mind. If your mind is not calm yet, you cannot realize the truth. Means that vipassana after that. So awareness to develop from concentration or use some other object that to aware of that. Be aware means to know yourself. Awareness and mindfulness is a come together when you practice meditation. So use any kind of object. Some people use the mantra to stop the mind wandering. Some people use chanting, especially Thai people. Use the counting, use the following of the air passing in and out, your nostril, and use some of the object that to fix your mind in one point, and be aware of you know yourself when you're breathing in and you're breathing out. So start from there. So practice day by day, night by night, develop from the beginning until advance. So you can do that.
Yeah. Thank you, Ajahn. So I think I personally find that what you share is so true, because a lot of time, as you mentioned earlier, suffering is actually found within us and not outside. So often that we actually blame others for our own suffering, but actually it is ourselves, it is what is inside us that we did not develop the wholesome action, as you mentioned. And every time I deny or go against the law of nature, I actually suffer. So, and which is very true. This is what I experience when every time I want things to be perfect, the way I want it to be, and not just the way it should be. This is where my suffering starts. So this is so true. As you share your wisdom with us. Thank you, Ajahn.
Yeah. In this thing, you can live anywhere, any situation, if you understand this point. Means that you accept and let it go. You can see the thing as it is, see the thing as they are. That's a vipassana. So you not see the thing as your problem. You not to see the thing as it is, see the thing as where you are, and then look within. Means that suffering or happiness is occur in your mind, right? You enjoy food, you enjoy music, listening to the music or anything in your mind. And also, when you criticize the people, when you hear the sound that the people criticize you, in your mind also. So you have to deal with your mind. And then that problem will cease from your life.
Yeah.
So
I see. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Ajahn. I see Ajahn Sutiyano raising his hand. Do you want to share your thoughts, Ajahn? Tupong Sutiyano.
Oh, Ajahn.
Hello.
Ajahn Janya?
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Okay, I've got 4 questions for you. Do you want me to ask one by one or ask 4 of them? Can you hear me?
Okay. One by one or whatever.
Okay. The first one is, what is the easy ways to contemplate the first noble truth, dukkha, or the suffering? Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah. Yes. Contemplate in the suffering, right?
Yeah, the first one.
Okay. The suffering, there are two kinds of suffering, the physical suffering or mental suffering. So if the physical suffering, you have to know the cause of that. The same thing, the mental suffering also, you have to know the cause of that. So contemplate on that kind of thing that happened to you, depends upon the suffering from which one.
Okay, thank you. The second one, how to practice the Four Noble Truths in our daily busy life.
As I mentioned, the dukkha or suffering, you have to realize it. You have to know it, not just run away from it. Some people, they don't know what is what. So that's why they don't know the way out. So if they know the what is what, means that they understand the situation and see it and let it go because of dukkha, whatever, as I mentioned, from the mental or physical, the same thing is has the cause, so that you have to see and understand the cause. If you put aside the cause, and then the result also is stopped. So you can practice in daily life the Four Noble Truth.
Okay, thank you. The third question is, in these days, there are numerous of Buddhist followers. Our question that, can we practice only each one of the four of the Noble Eightfold Path without practicing of them?
What do you mean? Say again.
There are numerous of Buddhist followers. Our question that, can we practice only each one of the Noble Eightfold Path without practicing of them?
No. They have to practice together. Ekamakho Visuddhiya. So 8 spoke, but 8 in one. So you have to practice all together. Sila, Samadhi, Panya have to go together, not each one. Okay, it relates to each other. It's linked to each other. But because of the Buddha, he showed the 8 way, 8 number, but in number only. But you have to practice according to Kaya Kam, Vaci Kam, Mano Kam, right? Mental action, bodily action, and verbal action. So in our daily life, we have to involve with Sila, means that control bodily action and verbal action. Right action, right speech, right? Mental action, you have to deal with mindfulness, with concentration, right effort, right right thought and right mindfulness deal with the mind. Okay, and the last one, right understanding is panya. To when you develop from outside in means that from the sila to develop, if you have sila, full sila, and then develop, it can be the basic or the base, the foundation of develop the mind, the samadhi, and then samadhi develop to the panya and wisdom. That's thing. So have to go together, practice
Thank
together.
you. For the last question is, in the Noble Eightfold Path, could you please explain why we have to start to practice or contemplate the right view first?
Actually, it's they're not put. They put in the first, but it start from as I mentioned. Right view is Samma Titti is the first thing that make the people, the thinking of the people is lead to good and bad, wholesome and unwholesome. Start from there, so that we have to put into right understanding to understand the three characteristics of existence, anicca, dukkha, anatta first. If you understand this, and then you can develop to another one. So this is a Samma Titti first. Because Titti or ความเห็น or view is maybe it's a wrong view. So that Buddha put the right view in front of that, because of you have to understand certain things that people they not follow, Why we are suffer in nowadays, because we against the three characteristics of existence. They not follow the rule, The Buddha said it is the impermanent, but the people said it's a permanent, it's a changeable, it's a mind. So the Buddha said it's not you, but you try to cling to it. It is a mind. So when the people think like this, they follow the dukkha, and dukkha follow them all the time, because they put in the wrong view at that time. So the first Samma Titti is important to change the view of the people. When you put into right view, and then you can go to the right way. Okay.
Thank you so much for your kindness. I would like to hear for some other participants' questions for something useful to practice Dhamma. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for your question, and I think we have we use a lot of time for today, 1 hour 20 minutes now. Or if anyone want to share, want to join, I'm happy to be with you. But if not, then anyone else?
Yeah, no more question from. Yeah,
No.
okay.
Sorry. Actually, I would like Ajahn to elaborate my question. It's about what should we do to cultivate the awareness of the importance of humanity in global perspective. Global perspective, it means that different religion, they might not in the Buddhism. So we can't talk about, you have to practice sila and practice mindfulness. So it means that in a very diverse, it's about all human. How can we create some awareness that human beings have to practice humanity and compassion for this?
Okay, by set good example to them. Okay, start from your first. You yourself have to be as the good example to all of the people. For instance, the co-worker, the people who work with you. there are different beliefs, different, there are many beliefs. Then when you practice good word, good action, and good mind, and show to them, and then they will ask you how you like, how you practice like this, how you know, what is your religion, what, so that will draw attention, that will draw the interest to the other people. So by that way, you can explain the noble way what you have done, the noble way that you have practiced. By this way, that we can change the mind. Buddha also, he never convert to from other religion to his religion, but the convert of Buddha means that convert from the bad person to the good person, means that convert you yourself, how to eliminate angry, jealousy, greedy, whatever that the bad.
Again, Rob.
Ajahn, Ajahn have mute himself. Ajahn Thanat.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So did you hear my answer?
Yes, yes. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Start from yourself. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for your high wisdom answer. I know.
All right. Thank you for your question.
Okay.
From Singapore, right?
Yes.
I miss Singapore this year. I have not chance to go there because of virus.
Okay.
Ajahn Lian in Wat Anand is my friend. You can go to Wat Anand.
Wat
Wat Anand. Okay.
Yeah,
we will go after this.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, back to you, Ajahn Riti.
Okay. Thank you very much for the question. Very nice. And then if no question now, the Long Paul is waiting to close to the end for this today. Okay, Long Paul. Welcome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for all people to join about listen the teaching on what is very important today, because the Secretary of the Council of Bhikhuss in U.S.A. talking about the origin of the teaching on we call it Dhamma Sutta and 412 and 845 today. Thank you for all people to join in listen the teaching, to practice your mind, to practice your body, and to avoid the dukkha from your mind only. Thank you very much. นะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธภะคะวาพุทธังภะคะวันตังอภิวาเทสวากาโตภะคะวันตาธัมโมธัมมังนามัสสามิ สุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนะโม
Thank you very much for the next Saturday. It's the nun. It's the first nun coming for next Saturday. And we're going to have about 3 times more, 3 times for this project. Okay. And thank you very much for joining today.
Okay.
No, thank you for all people